Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Man, I thought I had a nice 6:30 mix going on the channel. Guess I gave them their first April Fools for today.
Ah.
It's Hot Mike again. Hot Mike for the 6:30 crew. Oh my goodness, thank goodness it's Friday, April 1st, 2022.
Tootie-two.
Wake up, get up and move your body. Thank goodness it's Friday. There we are. What's happening, y'all? Hey. Got a good morning from Pops. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich, and the First Sky fam. Really? Is it Friday again?
Already, man.
Yeah, dude. Got a good morning from Wanda Lewis. Good morning, fam, from Judy Prinsler. Good morning to y'all.
Pops in the building.
Hey, April 1st, 2022. On a Friday. You know what that means? April 1st means the rent is due.
Man.
That's all that ever means on the 1st to me anymore.
I'm just hoping there's a blessing and my landlord's like, April Fools, you ain't got to pay
that. Good morning, Miss Erica Phil says, good morning, it's Indian Taco Friday. I heard that.
Some of that fried bread.
Oh, bro. Yeah, you missing out. You missing out on this one. We going,
man.
Going to get them Indian tacos today over at Brother Lavelle's spot, man. Raise a little funds for him. So, yeah, you know I'm looking forward to that.
Man, enjoy Dibbly for me, man.
Yeah,
enjoy Dibbly.
There you go.
Some of that.
Look.
Some of that.
Yeah, it's going down.
That goodness.
Welcome. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich, all of you, First Sky fam. What's going on with all y'all today? Wanda Lewis said, Jeff who? What you talking about?
Yeah, who? No, you tell me, Jeff who? I don't know what you talking about.
Rose Review says, places, everybody, places. Yep, we're trying to get there. Make sure then the taco spot First Sky sent you. That's right. Tell them First Sky sent you to the taco shop. Go get your Indian tacos today. It's definitely going down. You know what else is going down? You remember that conversation we had with Carla the other day? Arvolados and his well, I talked to the brother. He was like, yeah, man, been listening. Good show. Like what you guys is doing over there. I'd love to come on. So he'll be on next Friday. and he's bringing food.
Ooh, have you ever had their breakfast? Have you ever had any Arvolados breakfast dishes?
Come on,
the
bro.
Burrito,
all that,
the beef ass burrito,
all that, all the breakfast burritos, all that, all the stuff.
Man, the eggs and steak, potato.
There you go. So yeah, man, special guest next Friday. We're gonna have Arbolado on. He's gonna talk to us about how to franchise his franchise strategy, so we can try to make that happen in our communities as well. So
man, it's gonna be some boss talk, y'all.
Yeah, boss talk going down for sure. Brother Muhammad says, "Assalamu alaikum, family. It's a beautiful Friday."
Walaikum salam,
salam, bro. Brooke says, "Good morning. What's happening?" Stacey Jean says, "Good morning, First Sky family and friends." Really appreciate everybody getting up early with us on this Friday, April 1st. It feels very early. I'm very, very tired today. Tired, boss.
Tired, boss. It's almost like just like the Friday kind of accumulates, all the tiredness from the week.
Feels like it. It's been a long week man. This week. How you feeling over there, buddy?
I'm tired. I'll be honest. I'm tired, boss. Tired.
How's the family? How's everybody? They still keeping you up?
Everybody's all right. Everybody's all right. Yeah. Still keeping me up. Little man's about to lose his first tooth though, so that's pretty exciting.
All right.
Yeah. We're getting into losing of the teeth and things like that.
Y'all doing the tooth fairy thing, or how y'all?
You know what? You read my mind, man. I've been kind of going back and forth. Because
I picture millennials like, yeah, we're not gonna perpetrate that fraud anymore. Yeah.
That coin came from me. No, man, I don't know, man. My son was kind of talking about it. He knows about the tooth fairy. But I don't know if I'm gonna crush that one or we're gonna let that
I
slide
don't
or
think we do. We don't do fairies no more, dude.
yeah, I don't. Not no tooth fairy.
That's gonna be like that first episode of Atlanta. Have you seen it yet?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
We don't believe in fairies, son. White people will kill you.
Life is real.
We got a good happy Friday from Brianna Full with some sunshine.
Hey,
Good morning from Vicky Young with some sunshine. What's
let it
happening? What's happening?
in. Let it in.
And Stephen Abraham says, Grand Rising, everyone. Appreciate that.
Hey,
Appreciate that.
peace, brother.
Yeah, sounds like it's gonna be a good day. We got people in early and talk about it. Of course, if you are on Facebook, please share the page on your page so we can get more people coming in and talking. And if you're over on YouTube, go ahead and like and subscribe. Seeing these brothers that everybody's been showing out for us as well. I saw a bunch of posts that was like, hey, help First Guy out. Like and subscribe on YouTube. We're trying to get to that algorithm number, which is 100 right now, the first one.
Yeah.
So appreciate all you guys' support and help on trying to get that going for us. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
Miss Erica says, if you do start with small dollars, then you'll be scrambling for an ATM late night.
Dollars? You got dollars for your teeth? What? What's that like?
What if they're trying to find 50-cent pieces and
Man,
stuff?
what's that like?
I need them bitcoins. What you need to do is put some bitcoins underneath that.
Okay.
Vaughn Chapman gives us a good morning. Beam me up. That's what's up, man.
Hey.
Yeah, space is the place. It's happening right now. First Sky Omaha is going down. Of course, we have the Trekkie Words of Wisdom coming up. And shout out to Star Trek Rich, who's always here early making it happen for us. So appreciate it right here at Weberized Studios, man.
Squad. Yeah. So if you have any Weberized or podcast ideas, definitely check them out, man. They'll take care of you. Do you right. We're not the only ones, getting down over at Weberized. They have a lot of people coming over and getting down with them. So if you like to join that group, holla at them. Weberized.com.
Join the revolution. Rome's Review says 5 and 6 new subscribers just this week, up to 82. It's keeping track for us.
See, speaking of joining the revolution, man, let's keep it moving. Again, 100 is the mark. I'll be honest, man. I see some of those YouTubers with the plaques. I want one.
you want one? The million subscriber plaques.
I mean, even if we can get to the 100,000 level, I think you can 100,000 subscribers. You get you one of them gold plaques.
Yeah,
I think we can do it, y'all.
Well, next season we're definitely gonna be working on some content that it will enhance what's going on YouTube. Now, I did hear this the other day. Sis told me she went ahead. She was off of Facebook and went ahead and decided, like, okay, well, I'm just gonna watch y'all on YouTube. But she got over to YouTube and was like, the quality ain't as good on YouTube as it is on Facebook. So that's interesting. But there's a lot more that you can do on YouTube. I think that when you hit certain numbers and you can change them algorithms around, you can up your quality and stuff like that too. So it's a lot of YouTube games happening that I'm trying to look into. To see how we can do it. So we'll look at it. We got a good morning fan from Brother Valentine. Good morning to you as well. Mr. Eric Fell says his father started with that foolishness.
Yeah, that threw you off, huh?
One night he lost a tooth suddenly, and all he had in the house was a $20.
See, you
set the precedent.
You can't set no energy that you got to maintain that energy. Like,
come on, man. You know how many teeth you gonna lose? You gonna be out like $500.
Yeah, that's a slippery slope, my man.
Hey, we got a good morning people from Richard Green. New name, appreciate that.
Yeah, peace, brother, peace.
Appreciate that. Brooks says I'm in here too on YouTube. That's what's up.
Everybody tubing with us. Yeah, man. I think we got about we're creeping up on like 700 or so. Actually, it was last time I checked. We might be even higher of friends on First Sky. So my goal is to get as many friends over to YouTube as well, because I know if you have a Facebook, you have an email, and if you have an email, you most likely have a YouTube.
Yeah. So definitely check it out. We're gonna play the algorithm game there, and tell a friend. Also, Brother Muhammad, I know that you was watching this on Facebook and YouTube. Maybe you can tell us about the quality difference.
Yeah.
There as well. Love to hear about it. Speaking of friends of First Sky Omaha, who is Wayne Hudson, and how come he is blowing up friends of First Sky Omaha all the time? I mean, it's like he's like all over the page. So I figured I better come and ask the chat chimers, what's going on with Brother Hudson? Do anybody know who he is? And I know he think he's running for sheriff. Obviously, he's got it plastered all over the place. Is this somebody we need to bring on talk to? I mean, is he one of the ghost listeners? I got some questions.
That's a good question. That's a
Where
good
you at, brother
question.
Hudson? Where you at?
Because you're aware of us enough to post on the page, but ain't hit us up about an interview.
Come on. Let's see what's up. There you go.
What's up?
A lot more topics we'll talk about today, but I just figured I'd throw that one out early so y'all can, the people who do know who he is, let us know. Let us know what's happening.
Yeah. Look, man, he fresh. That's the that's a new name. Who's
like
that?
that.
Somebody
Man, he
says
fresh.
yes, sir.
That's what's up, man. He fresh. I like it. We also have taken down the TikTok today too, because we ain't getting nothing but trolls over TikTok. So it must not be that's not the audience we trying to reach quite yet.
Nah, man, not yet. Vicky Young says hit him up.
Okay. He in the fam, Vicky Young? Is he in the fam? What's happening? Let us know. Brother Muhammad says I'll check back with you. Appreciate that. Brother Abraham says he's running for Douglas County Sheriff. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, we know.
Got a good morning from Beth Davis Wilson. Appreciate that. Oh, I'm sorry, did I cut you off?
No, I was looking at the chats coming in, but I was saying I think he is currently sheriff and he might be running for re-election, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, well we need to see because like I said, man, wow, he's been blowing up the page, or somebody who is promoting him has. Is anybody on his campaign or anything? Let us know.
Or is anybody just familiar of him?
Yeah, all over the place this morning. So that's what's up.
Yeah. Okay, Ariel's is confirming yes, re-election. So
okay,
yeah, man.
Cool.
If anybody has any contact or hey, if Brother Wayne, if you're a ghost listener out there, you're not chiming in the chat, but you tuned in, we see you. We see you, brother. So yeah,
Pop says I named him Star Trek Rich because he's been the man from the start. We love you, Star Trek Rich. Right? Some love for Star Trek Rich.
Yeah, some Star Trek Rich love.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, he's from North Omaha.
Okay. See, I knew the news would start trickling in. That's what's up. Appreciate that.
Okay, somebody got an endorsement for him. Brother Stephen Abraham. He's a good man. He should come on the show.
There you go. I like it. Amelia says, good morning, Familia. Good morning to you as well. Brianna Full says, my mama told me if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all.
Oh, there you go. So we kind of have some differing of opinions, which is all right here for Sky. That's what we like. We're gonna get down to the bottom of it, talk to him ourselves, and kind of go from there. So
what's up, man?
Yeah. There you have it. But beyond that, man, we do have a couple other things to talk about to get into today. We'll definitely talk about LB 1024.
Yeah.
This article just kind of threw me off because it says 1014. That's a typo. 1024.
Are you sure it's a typo or is it another bill? Amy Hutfless, what's up? Okay,
no, it's a typo. It's a typo. It's talking about the North and South Omaha Recovery Bill, and although there were some changes to the bill, or there's an update. It hasn't changed. It's still the same bill. Still LB 1024. So let's make sure we're supporting the right bill. But again, there are some changes, as I just mentioned, to LB 1024. Again, that's the North and South Omaha Recovery, the $450 million ask that we've been looking for. And now they're kind of starting to have a clearer picture of how they're going to break that up and what goes where.
Yo, man, he fresh. He says second in command, trying to be first black sheriff.
Okay.
So they talking about Wayne Hudson. Yeah.
Yes.
My bad. I didn't mean to interrupt there.
Are you good? You good? But yes, we'll talk about Wayne Hudson. We'll talk about LB 1024. We'll also talk about this $310 million going to underserved communities. Another bill that's coming out of the Nebraska legislature, of course, from the man himself, Senator Justin Wayne. Put some respect on his name.
Yo.
Yeah. Brother's working. So we'll also talk about this upcoming bill. Actually, you're right. It is LB 1014 and 1024. Those are two different bills, both asking for the same thing, which is kind of confusing, but we're gonna clear it up.
Yeah. Well, I'm just hoping. Well, maybe that's why one of them got that Lincoln attached to them. We'll talk.
Yeah. We'll definitely talk about it. And also, speaking of money, investment, and construction, somebody kind of asked about this. I think on Wednesday, hit the nail on the head. If you ask me, as far as the Creighton construction and Creighton expansion being a part of the new 20-year plan for downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're getting some updates on that. And again, my question still remains, man. What about North Omaha?
This is a very, very close. Things that happen at Creighton affect North Omaha in a great way because of how the proximity. So
Yeah.
it's interesting to see what it is that they have to say about what their plans are going to be for sure.
Yeah, man. So we'll talk about all that and more. Of course, if there's anything on your hearts, your minds that you would like to discuss, feel free to drop that into the chat. Chime into the chat. We're here for the next 2 hours. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. Let's go.
Let's do it. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Once again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich in the house, who says that he's just the guy in the chair to the superheroes. Okay, appreciate you, bro. And all of you, the chat chimers, getting up so early in the morning with us. Really appreciate that. Leah Keister gives us a morning slept in by whoops. Slept in a little bit. That's all right. Happy Friday. Yeah, I heard that. Brother Abraham says we need advocates for change in different elected positions to eliminate the bad policies that have hindered growth in areas of poverty and neglect. Well said. Well said.
Yeah,
got a good morning from Josh Tag. Appreciate that. Good morning, friends and family. Also, Brianna Full says at the latest town hall, Wayne dodged my question, asking if he thinks it's okay for SROs to mace kids at school. I really don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
I knew if I threw it out there to the chat chimers, we would get the tea. That's just what it is around here. So I'm gonna keep the question going because I went to go look at what was going on with the page, because that's kind of where we get a lot of our news. Wayne Hudson was all through the page, heavily promoting on the page. So that always sparks a question in my mind. I wonder why. So
definitely not hitting us up for an interview, like,
well, and then that's the I'm not blaming him for that quite yet, but I would like to know who he thinks our audience is, who we think we are. What you know what I'm saying? Like, was it maybe he's doing it because he got some advocates in the chat chimers are advocating for him or helping him with this campaign. So that's why I wanted to put it out there. I want to know if y'all know. Y'all can tell me what's going on. Von Chapman says, is the land bank failing? Good question. We will definitely be talking about the land bank this session because they've been in the news again. And we got a lot to say about the land bank.
Yeah, man. Sure. Yeah. That could be a whole show in itself, to be honest. It could be a whole show.
Brother Valentine said, replying to Brianna Full, said, with all that is taking place, shocked there was no furniture. Furniture was moving at these events.
Oh, dang.
Wow. Miss Erica Fell says, I feel some kind of way when people use a platform to self-promote but haven't contributed or particulate. Am I saying that right? Particulate first. Look, you can't be throwing no big words at me. It's too early. I ain't had no coffee.
Participate. Yeah, I was thinking that might have been a typo.
It sounds like a word though. Particulate. I'm gonna have to think about
that. That's something your pastor might pull out.
Look, we don't just participate. We particulate.
The scripture says you have to particulate.
That's when you participate in something particular. That's what that is. Appreciate you, Miss Erica Felt, for keeping us on in stitches.
But yes, that's my point. That's kind of my sentiment. Like you're aware of us enough to post on our page, then come through. Like actually contribute to the show, be a part of the show. That's what we're doing. That's what the whole point is.
That's right. You got to particulate around here if you're gonna get down with us.
Come on, with some particulation.
That's what's up. Hey, we're gonna get on with it. Lots to talk about today for sure. Thank goodness it's Friday. Yes. April 1st, you know what it is. You guys particulate in April Fool's Day. Let us know about that. Brother Rich said,
Man,
relating to or in the form of minute separate particles, minute separate particles. So it's an actual word.
what? All right.
We will put a call out. Vicky Young says invite him to the show. We will definitely put a call out. If anybody has any contact information, let me know. We'll reach out, have the brother on the show. We just clowning around. We know who
Yeah,
Wayne
yeah.
Hudson is, and we trying to just be like, come on through. Let's find out what's up. So and then we want to know about how much you guys know about him as well, and if you guys think we ought to have him on. So let us
Definitely,
know.
definitely. But we will definitely have them on, especially now. First, today being the first day of April. So again, the May primary coming up, man. This is kind of the last. This is the last stretch. You know what I mean, as
Yeah.
far as elections and getting those candidates in the interview. So if there
Mhm.
are any other candidates that we haven't spoken to, just side note that you want to see, you want to hear from, let us know. Let us
Yeah.
know.
There's a few of them that we have our eye on that we definitely want to try to get them in and talk. So we'll be doing that because we believe that we need to have a conversation, need to get to know the candidates in a real way. So
There you go.
anybody you thinking about, you want to endorse, you want to hear more from, or any of the anybody who we will take them on. We'll take everybody, anybody
Yeah, man.
who wants to come on and talk, even if it's people you wouldn't think. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Open to
Yeah.
talk to anybody. But moving on, man, let's go ahead and dive into the news because
Yep.
this is definitely something that we would like to talk about. LB 1014, I guess. And I was a little confused there. I thought that was a typo, but it's not. There's a couple bills coming out all geared towards supporting and investing in North and South Omaha. And now Lincoln looking to get some of that. This is being reported by the Lincoln Journal Star. The legislature just yesterday voted to broaden the North and South Omaha Recovery Act to distribute designated federal pandemic recovery funds statewide, with some of the funding earmarked for affordable housing and tourism in Lincoln. The amendments to LB 1014 proposed by Senator Wayne, a sponsor of the bill, included $5 million directed to assist the Lancaster Event Center Fairgrounds. Also, the amended bill would designate $30 million for development of affordable housing in the Lincoln area, and also another $1 million in tourism development grants for the area. Excuse me. On top of that, a number of rural senators served notice that while they support the bill, they will be assisting on substantial designated funding for development of broadband expansion in rural Nebraska. So, of course, they support it, but definitely looking for what they can get. Wayne said the amendments he proposed would make sure the funding from the Federal American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA, would benefit the entire state, while directing $135 million in fiscal 2022 to 2023 to meet affordable housing needs in high poverty census tracts in Omaha, and developing a business park near Epley Airfield, which is sort of the large business opportunity for the North Omaha area. Another $135 million will also be placed in a contingency fund for other spending. Again, the needs are estimated at $2 billion. So, in regards to exactly where we are and the impact that this will have, there's still a lot of work to do. But again, the original request was for $450 million. So, as brother Justin Wayne and Terrell McKinney put it, once in a lifetime ask could
Mhm.
change the whole trajectory of the North Side and the South Side, and possibly even Lincoln.
Yeah. And it makes you wonder what are those funds going to be used for? Because it's still not all the way clear to me what the plan is. But there is a plan, and there it would make a lot of changes. I'd like to know about what kind of concrete changes we're really talking about, though, and
Right.
how to circumvent some things like the way they're trying to rezone places and stuff that we were talking about Wednesday too.
That's an interesting thing. Like, where are these affordable housing projects going to be? Are we going to see people phased out of their current places? Are they going to be brought back in? How much community input is going to be in all of this? Those are valid questions.
Exactly. Exactly. Von Chapman in the chat said, "What policy, procedures, and practices are those running for law enforcement positions that adversely and disproportionately affect people of color? Will they change?" Good questions. Definitely for the people that are running for law enforcement, like we were talking about Wayne Hudson a little earlier. That's crazy. Leia Keister says no lake for F's sake. Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's that's kind of what I think about with this. Again, is more of this. I'm hearing this. It's almost like, yeah, North Omaha, you can get your little pebbles, but as long as we get our tourism things, as long as we can, you know, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, most def. The breakdown that there. So I spent a little time in Lincoln, and there are some areas in Lincoln that need some help.
Definitely,
Um,
definitely.
and the stuff that they ran down didn't seem like it was that extensive. You know, it was going to take that big of a chunk out. Of the total to be
Hmm.
able to throw some help their way, and it didn't sound like they want to $1 million for some tourism is not a whole lot of money
No,
to this that's not like the obviously tourism is not the priority in Lincoln.
um, right. 5
So
million for the Lancaster Event Center Fairground, so that can kind of be. But to
yeah,
your
that's true.
point, the largest chunk of the money going to Lincoln is going to affordable housing, which, as
Right.
we always say, follow the money, and sometimes that is a good thing. Whatever they spend their money in the most is, you can go on to say that's what they value the most. And again,
Mm.
30 million going to affordable housing in Lincoln. That's I'm not necessarily upset about that part.
No, no, not really either. There are, contrary to what a lot of people think, there are black people in Lincoln. There
Yeah,
are there
yeah,
are
yeah.
some bad areas in Lincoln. There are some rougher areas in Lincoln. There are people that are struggling for housing in Lincoln, most dev. And like I said, out of the total, it doesn't seem like it seems like it's pretty well spread around like it should be, and not to mention this is one of several bills for that they're working on to try to get some funding for North and South Omaha. So it was kind of one of them headlines that was like, oh, what they about to try to do with North and South Omaha's money, but I don't really feel that way at this moment.
No, no, it definitely. And again, that goes back to what Senator Justin Wayne put some respect on his name said with the initial ask, and the mentality of wanting this to benefit the whole state, but understanding that benefiting North Omaha specifically would also benefit the whole state. Just
Right.
economically, and then also not just economically, but also prison wise. We talk about the
Mm.
disparities in the prisons. We talk about the state's prisons system, the state of the state's prison system. And this is from Senator Ann Wishart, who basically said that, actually, she acknowledged Senator Justin Wayne's comment about comparing the addressing the North Side's needs to climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. I mean, it definitely is a pretty steep uphill climb. But she says this is not only economic development, this is criminal justice reform, in the
Mm.
sense that it is addressing some of the needs, challenges, and barriers that the population in North Omaha faces. And that's something that not only Senator Wishart, but also Chief Schmaderer, they all see it. They all see it. Like, we need this money, and this can really change the game in a lot of ways. And I'm becoming more and more hopeful about it. At this point, we have passed the second round of vote, so there are still a couple more rounds to go, but we are moving along.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it'll be about time for us to reach out to the senators and have them come on and tell us about some of the progress and what's going on. But I'm encouraged to see some stories out there that talk about these bills progressing, and it's looking pretty good. So and a lot of people are, I think, aware of some of these things. They're aware of like what people want to do with this, like with the lake, for instance. Brianna Full in the chat says, "I have people calling Senator Blood's office every day telling me they don't want the lake because the
Hmm.
government will use eminent domain to take their land and houses that have been in their families for centuries." That's really something else. We got a good morning from brother Black Dynamite. What's happening, man? Stephen Abraham says the money reallocated to North and South Omaha from Lincoln is a good thing. Lincoln recognizes that if that it doesn't really need the help that areas in Omaha do. This is aligned with the Omaha Chamber of Commerce plan to make Omaha metro area equivalent to Kansas City Metroplex. Watch the play with Council Bluffs name. Hmm. Okay, there's some interesting tidbits in that one to
Yeah,
go back through.
brother Stephen
Interesting
Abraham with the Nuggets. Yeah, we're gonna have
with
to
the
look into
Nuggets.
that a little more. But yeah, I mean, I said it. Follow the money. Let's definitely follow the money. Where is it going, and why is it going in that direction? And again, especially which we will be talking about a little later on with this Creighton article. But as Brother Stephen Abraham mentioned, the Chamber of Commerce and their plans. For the we are talking about the increase in population density, especially in the downtown midtown area within the next 20 years, and where does North Omaha fall? And all that. And speaking of where does North Omaha fall in that, moving right along to the next article, because yeah, I was a little confused, but there are two different bills. LB 1014 and LB 1024 are two different bills. LB 1014 is geared towards the rest of the state, and LB 1024 is the ask specifically for North Omaha.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But in regards to LB 1024, it is moving along as well. It's a second round of debate through voice of vote. It needs to pass just one more round of debate before it goes to Governor Pete Ricketts' desk for that final signature. But there has been some compromises reached with this. Again, the original ask was $450 million, but Nebraska lawmakers recently advanced a bill that would provide about $310 million to underserved parts of the state, including North and South Omaha. That total is funding a significant drop again from actually $475 million that Senator Wayne initially asked for. Wayne said he hopes the funding will encourage local businesses to contribute private dollars to the effort. So again, beyond the federal ARPA funding, I guess he is seeking private funding for some of this project as well. Again, the $310 million will be spread out over 2 years, with $175 million appropriated this year, and then the rest going for next year. Most of the funding would come from the $1.4 billion Nebraska is receiving from the federal ARPA funds, and with $40 million of that coming from capital projects and another $10 million coming from the state's general fund. So again, does look like we're going to get something in the tune of some M's, some hundreds of millions. So it is going to be a nice chunk. But again, it's not quite the full ask.
Yeah. Yeah. But the brothers are fighting for it, and that's what that's all about. Ariel's 402 in the chat says there's also 150 million allocated for next year 2024 is asking in that bill. That's we just talked about that 150 mil. So yeah, like you said, there's some M's out there for the neighborhoods, and it's definitely, it feels like it's coming. It feels like they're working really hard and people are on board, and it may not be the full amount, but it's going to be a lot. And again, the question lies with me: what exactly are we going to do with that? What exactly are the plans for that? Who's going to be controlling that? Who's going to be allocating that? So on and so forth.
And actually, that's a very good question. And to that point, that was one of also the changes that was made yesterday after the latest round of debate. The version that was advanced yesterday would create a committee that would determine the appropriation for the remaining 135 million next year. So again, Brother Wayne and Brother Terrell McKinney, they already do have some ideas of what initially they want to do. Again, we've already talked about some affordable housing things, state-of-the-art mental health facility, also the business park out by Eppley Airfield. So some of those things, the initial allocation will go to that. But again, the remaining 135 million, there will be a committee put together to determine how that will be handled. And Wayne says if he is unable to approve the need for the additional funding next session, he does not expect lawmakers to approve it. So again, if the committee does not come up with some uses for that, we could lose that as well. So Wayne says that this adds another layer of accountability as far as making sure that we're not just sitting on this and we get the right people in to make the right decisions.
Yeah, and I trust that the brothers will definitely lead those discussions that need to be had about what to do, about how to do it, and grab everybody involved and really kind of make it happen. So Leah Keiser says Wayne and McKinney.
Yeah, man.
McKinney, yeah, most deaf. And also, Carol Blood, puts respect on her name. Senator Megan Hunt. There's other people. There's a few senators out there really fighting for what's going on here with those funds for our areas. Leah Keiser said McKinney are doing this. Wayne and McKinney are doing great on the floor. Yeah, that's if you watch some of those sessions, man, you see the brothers fighting for sure.
Man,
So
and winning, not just
yeah,
fighting, but winning.
yeah. So yeah, this is going to be landmark. It's going to be huge. It's going to be really, really huge. It is definitely worth us having more conversations and coming up with a list of things and some solutions and some ideas on where this stuff ought to go. And biggest thing is the discussion. Definitely need to
Yeah,
keep on having that.
coming
With
to the bottom of it.
yeah. Most def, thanks for joining us on that conversation. We're gonna continue to talk about it. As you know, it's a very evergreen issue with us, and until it gets resolved, until we see some actual funds come into our neighborhoods, we'll keep on keeping an eye on it and talking about it. So appreciate that. We got a good morning from Zane. What's happening, buddy? Good morning to you.
The
Also,
dude.
the dude in the house. Also, brother Muhammad is keeping track of the difference between the Facebook and the YouTube, and he says the chat window is different. However, it's okay. So I appreciate that report on there. Stephen Abraham on the subject still, the state of Nebraska has been trying to capture money lost to other states due to attractions, casinos, etc. They found a loophole that comes from land took from Native Americans. Many of those settlers mentioned earlier in this post that complained about losing land in certain areas have been either bought out or found they gained land by illegal squatters' rights. Man, you be coming with you got to do research on the comments that you
Yeah,
throw
it's
out
just
there. You got some serious nuggets. Yeah, that's interesting.
hmm. Hey, you talking about the lake area, the lake situation?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Complain about losing land in certain areas have been either bought out or found they gained land by illegal squatters' rights. Interesting stuff. Yeah, it's the overall conversation about that. I'm hoping that there's going to be some ownership and some land, and some places in our neighborhoods and close to us that that we'll be able to use this money for.
Hmm.
I also kind of the first part of his statement too, talking about capturing the money lost in other states due to attractions. Iowa with the casinos. Um, we're right up against Colorado. There's a bunch. So yes, he's talking about the lake. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's that's interesting that they're trying to put that 600 million towards building this new lake. And like you said, there's not a lot. What are the questions there about that? Well, first of all, like Brianna Full said, they people are calling saying they're going to be displaced if they make this lake.
Right, right. Who's there already?
Who's
Who's
there
there
already?
already? That is the kind of the first question.
Yeah,
And have they, how much have they bought into this idea that Governor Ricketts himself is pushing and urging senators to create bills for?
right,
Yeah, yeah. Who are the investors? Who are the
right.
developers?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. There's a
and
lot
is
of
it really competing? Like, is this the attraction, the lake, really competing with like what these other states are doing with the casinos and like what kind of revenue that you really gonna get from building something like that? Like, I mean, who? They must be heavily invested in the real estate that's supposed to be around these lakes. I'm not. I don't know.
yeah.
Um,
I don't even know being a tourist attraction, is that the right branding for the state? Is Nebraska, is that the best investment to spend $600 million in?
I mean, to me, it's just like what we were talking about with the music venues. This is not a music town. This is not
Right,
a
right,
like. Why
right.
would you keep on building $1 million, multi-million-dollar music venues?
And I will say, with this ask that Senator Wayne is going to, that's another thing that Nebraska trying to find how does Nebraska make its money. I don't think tourism is it. They're
No,
kind of just leaning on prisons, if you want to keep it honest. But there's been attempts to attract major corporations, like I think Google is here,
yeah,
but there were some other major corporations that were eyeing Nebraska to bring their facilities and to bring jobs and to bring all the economic boost that comes with that. And Nebraska is not winning those types of sweepstakes. And I don't think tourism is the thing that's going to lead them to
no.
winning those types of sweepstakes and getting those
Well,
types of jobs and then pushing things forward.
well, the thing is that Nebraska had at one point had the most Fortune 100 companies in the country in
Mhm.
the state. They still are up there with it. Just because ConAgra left doesn't mean doesn't mean that there's not still these Fortune 100 companies in town. I mean, the industry here is something different than entertainment, than any kind of tourism, any kind of anything. So,
No,
there's already major corporations here. Just everybody doesn't work for them. Everybody doesn't get to take the advantage of that. But there's major corporations here already, and so I'm not quite sure what they're trying to attract.
man, and to that point, you kind of not necessarily an epiphany, but you gave me an idea. Like I could definitely see Nebraska being like a Silicon Valley of the Midwest.
I mean, maybe. I mean,
I mean, you think about some of the companies that you're already talking about. PayPal is there.
yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's major corporations here already. I'm
TD
not.
Ameritrade.
So Mutual of Omaha is considered one. I mean, it's also a town that has per capita like a whole bunch of millionaires and a couple billionaires, and like so the philanthropy, so the nonprofit sector is huge here. There's certain things that are huge here. I'm not really sure what they're trying to bring. Wanda Lewis in the chat says is heading towards attracting tourists at the expense of people who live in the surrounding communities.
Right.
But like Dynamite says, maybe PD should take heed to that information and put something here that would make people want to come here.
So
If if you if you're a corporate cat and you want to move up the corporate ladder, then Nebraska is a very real choice for you. We're talking in terms of where we come from, which is from the Black community as artists and so on and so forth. But if you're somebody in Arizona somewhere and you're trying to climb up the corporate ladder at Mutual of Omaha, that's a viable job. So, like, what are they trying to attract and why? That's kind of what I'm thinking. Brianna Full says the state makes a majority of their revenue on property taxes. Interesting.
Okay.
Ms. Erica Felt says, I think the only thing that we could be in is an employment state. Housing is high, but lower than elsewhere. If they would adjust the property tax and correct the self-employment tax to be in line with the rest of the country, they might could make this an employment state. Yeah. I mean, I pretty much agree with that. I mean, look at what the teleservices lady did. Like, that's huge. That's a huge company. There are still corporate opportunities here. Brother, let's see. Brother Valentine says Nebraska is trying to attract those who are more than capable of pushing Black and brown populations out of the state. Follow their interests, salaries, and politics.
There you go.
That's what I'm getting
There
at.
you go.
That's what I'm getting at. Who are they trying to attract? What's the attract? What then people might want to go sit out on a lake out in the suburbs somewhere. Who knows? Stephen Abraham says they want to make a new Omaha that's geared to entertainment and become a Silicon Valley's. That vision is old. First thought of during the Louisiana Purchase. Remember, Omaha was the area where all the records for land purchases for the United States during the expansion west.
Man, brother Stephen Abraham coming with the with the history, man.
The nuggets, man, for real. Yeah. Arrows 402 says Nebraska is a telemarketing state. No real accents. Time zone good for East and West Coast business. We have 4 seasons, 4 movies. Yeah, that's what I've understood about Nebraska ever since I was old enough to understand anything. That this was, and plus I have family that made money in telemarketing here in the 90s. And so yes, there. So how did that move into the technology of today? Definitely some tech out here. Like I said, PayPal was born out here. It's just really, like we get caught up in talking about like how people in our communities are benefiting from some of this stuff. And we just really don't even get into too many conversations about tech and about industry and corporate culture here, because even though some of us work for some of these companies, nobody's really moving up the ladder and making any change. These companies are still being controlled by who they're being controlled by.
Oh yeah, I mean that goes back to brother Stephen Abraham's comment, or excuse me, brother Innomar Valentine's comment about pushing out who are they investing in, and that goes right to Miss Erica Phelps says nobody wanted or wants to live in Silicon Valley. That's why they gentrified Oakland, and I mean we've
Nobody
been talking
cares.
about the writing on the wall in North Omaha, and that's kind of my mentality about why we've been seeing the things that we've been seeing. Because a lot of the investment is going to downtown, and a lot of businesses are sort of eyeing and moving to that downtown Epley Airfield, Council Bluffs area. So there's going to be a lot of jobs out there. A lot of the factories that were out west are kind of shutting down. America is not producing as much. So a lot of the factories that are out west are shutting down, which means a lot of the jobs that were out west are shutting down, which means that a lot of the people that are out west are coming back downtown and coming back north, which means we're going to be pushed where? Out west, where there's no jobs. That's what the next 20 years will look like.
On that note, 7:45. If you are keeping track of time and believing the concept, Maserica Fell says nobody. I mean, Von Chapman says there is a reason why Nebraska doesn't have major sports franchise. Think about that one on that tip. Before we go to the break, though, Pops is trying to play devil's advocate. That's always, and if I read that sentence, it's always going to be something interesting.
Yeah.
He said, "I think nearly every state has a board of tourism who tries to increase the number of tourists by any means possible. Many people love lakes and water sports. Las Vegas has all the attractions in the world, but nearby Lake Mead attracts hundreds of thousands each year. As you said, it just depends on the type of tourist they're trying to attract to this area." Okay. I mean, that makes sense. That's not really like a devil's advocate argument. That's true too.
Yeah.
You know, I can definitely see that there is a tourist board here. I've dealt with them. You know, they're happy that we're doing our thing. Even Visit Nebraska loves the fact that we are in conversations with people and attract people from other places. So I mean that that is there. But you know, what exactly are you going to bring here for that? While you're pushing out other people, other communities, and other cultures. So that's a good question. I mean, we're one of the highest refugee states around. We got refugees from Africa and all kinds of other places.
Yeah.
Anybody building anything for them? Do they like lakes and water seas?
What's gonna make them stay? You know, you might get people coming to the lake, but what's gonna make them stay? What's gonna make them want to actually move here and live here and be a part of what's going on here, and not just drive through or fly over?
Wanda Lewis says most of the employment consists of service jobs. However, they outsource high-paying positions, bring people in from other states, and wonder why young people are leaving.
That's what I'm saying, and that goes to what you're talking about, Paul. Like, if you want to climb the corporate ladder, that's exactly what happens. I mean, no shade, but look at Dr. Cheryl Logan. She's not from Omaha, and she's done a good job. But that's an opportunity where somebody from the city, even somebody from North Omaha, could have been in. I mean, Dr. Friesen. There's a lot of people out there that could have been possibly qualified for doing something like this.
Working on getting a new ED for the Benson Theater, and we have definitely entertained some folks that have been in other cities from out of town that found that was like this would be a good opportunity in the corporate world to come out in the nonprofit sector and have the job. So when that's who's coming. Christy Norris says at city council they said that there isn't a lot of space to build housing, but we want to make a huge lake. Make it make sense. Stephen Abraham again with the Nuggets. The future is in the history. If I was a betting man, I would look at city state planning historical records, especially around the area of preventing flooding. Look at Kansas City roadways. Interesting.
Okay, so there's some Kansas City things. There's also some Atlanta things that's being discussed. Are discussed. I'm kind of disgusted, but being discussed as far as development and where this is going. Yeah, that's definitely true. Kind of follow the history and see how the future is repeating that. The writing is on the wall. Kansas City, Atlanta, those are two cities that a lot of zoning and planning conversations have centered around.
Most def. We'll take a quick break. This is one of these heated conversations that will go on forever. We'll take a quick break and jump back into some other stuff. Thanks for all your comments. If you're just joining us, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich, all of you, the chat chimers, and these very hot topic subjects that we got going on here. It's what it is. It's what it is. So thanks for the comments. We'll keep talking about it. Yeah. Von Chapman said that Ricketts wants to attract more Proud Boys to replace the progressive young folk who leave for lack of mental growth. Ooh-wee.
There you go.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Oh, yeah. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich, all of you, the chat chimers, all of you, the ghost listeners. We really appreciate everybody joining us for sure.
Yeah, man.
Star Trek Rich says, if you haven't already, click the link and go to First Sky Omaha on YouTube and like and subscribe. Go on, do it. Yeah, please do. Playing that YouTube algorithm game. A little bit earlier, Brother Mohammed gave us another report on that. Let me see if I can find it real fast. He says sound quality is fine as well. 9 likes as of this message. I can watch, but both YouTube and Facebook at the same time. Just make a decision which program sound audio on FB transcriptions is displayed.
There you go.
So appreciate the report on that. Definitely, we put it out there to see which platform you guys like. Which platform is better? We have another listener that told us that it was the scene was clearer on Facebook than it was on YouTube. I do think that's because we're playing with the YouTube algorithms right now. So you get a certain amount of users, then your quality goes up, type of thing. So they got all kinds of little tricks and things happening over there. Yeah, we'll see what's happening. No, that's what's up. Yeah, welcome back and thanks for joining us on that conversation. Got a lot more to talk about today. Got some real good topics. Again, let us know if you know Brother Wayne Hudson, because he's been all over the Friends of First Sky Omaha page. We did a little funny teaser in the headlines that said, "Who is this guy? Who is he?" You guys have been letting us know somebody running for sheriff that we need to be talking to. Is anybody in the chat part of Wayne Hudson's campaign team at all? You guys know who he is? We got a little inside information on some people who already had some conversations with him and stuff like that. So just kind of throwing it out there because he was all over our page and thought, okay, well, we obviously need to have this brother on. So let us know if you know who he is and what he stands for and so on and so forth. And we'll definitely reach out, have him on to talk about it. Vicky Young seems to know who he is. And Vicky Young was like, yeah, go ahead, reach out. He'd probably come on through. So we'll definitely see what's up there. Miss Erica Felt in the chat said, oh, you guys are talking to each other. That's what we like.
Yeah. Keep that going.
Keep that going.
Real chimey and chatty.
We got about 6 minutes. 6 minutes, Buddy Fresh. You're on. It's going to be 8 o'clock here real soon. If you got somewhere to be, you got about 6 minutes till 8. If you even, if you even going by that, if you even got to watch, you know us.
Yeah.
Only time we deal with time is when it's time to get off.
Skin dirty.
It's a quarter to 10.
Yeah. So, man, let's keep it moving. Again, big thanks to everybody chiming into the chat. And yeah, if you believe in the concept of time, if you got somewhere to be, go ahead. As Brother Star Trek Rich said, get. But yes, we do thank y'all for tuning in with us. Please chime into the chat. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. Let us know what you think about everything we're discussing. And of course, if there's anything on your hearts or your minds that we're not discussing, feel free to drop that in the chat. And, if we have some information on that, we'll talk about it. And if not, we'll look into it. This is that I want to dive into. You got something, Paul?
I was gonna say, I just got a message from brother Dave Pontos.
Okay. I figured you was looking at your phone, had some breaking something.
Yeah. And he knows that we're talking about this situation that Don Klein that they just brought to our attention about what Don Klein posted, and the action that need people that some of these people want to be taking. The Justice for James Scurlock team wants us to take.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought maybe we can jump to that just in case he does come in. I would love to be able to talk about this subject with him on and hear what he has to say since he's running for Don Klein's seat. So he said that he's going to try to jump on in a few minutes. Maybe we can go ahead and jump into what you wanted to do, and then we'll talk about it when he comes on. Maybe we'll do it that way.
And actually, it might be a good segue in there because at the end of the day, man, the point that I wanted to get to with this article is all I want to say is they don't really care about us, man.
Okay, Michael.
They don't really care about us, man. One of the chat chimers asked about this on Wednesday as far as we were talking about all the development going on, in particular the announcement of the Greater Omaha Chambers urban core plan for the next 20 years to increase density within the urban core area that they're calling which we now know as the Midtown, downtown, riverfront areas, kind of
north side.
A lot of the prime realty of Omaha. Again, what are they going to do with that in the next 20 years? 30,000 more jobs, 30,000 more residents, and increased density in that area. And now Creighton, they're getting a piece of that pie. And it looks like the Greater Omaha Chamber and Creighton are actually in tandem with their project. So again, hundreds of millions of dollars going into the Greater Omaha Chambers project. And now Creighton is announcing that they have about $250 million in improvement projects that are actually already underway. And a lot of them will effectively change the look of downtown and some of North Omaha for quite some time. And I'll get to the point as far as me feeling like they don't really care about us. A lot of these changes are impacting North Omaha and have impacted North Omaha. Looking back in the past, things that have already impacted North Omaha, like the North Freeway. We talked about the possibility or the idea of the North Freeway being removed in North Omaha, getting some of that land back. And that's a whole, it just feels like a whole thing. It's a whole conversation. It's an uphill battle to get that done. Not for Creighton. For Creighton. Apparently a part of this project is already looking at moving some of the interstate in that area and taking down some of those ramps, just tearing that all up. Creighton's campus sits roughly east of US 75 and west of 16th Street, north of I-480 and south of Cumming Street, for those of you who aren't familiar, which of course is a part of the area that the chamber is looking at. But Creighton officials are already working on their own improvement projects, and part of that could lower portions of I-480 down to street level. So we could see changes to I-480, and then also we've already seen some changes that impact in North Omaha. Let's talk about the former Creighton University Healthcare Center. That's now an apartment which mostly houses Creighton students. So North Omaha had to lose its major hospital just so Creighton students can have an apartment.
A very high priced.
Very high priced apartment. Thank you. And speaking of high prices, you ever looked at tuition at Creighton? Very high priced. So going back to and I know it's a private university, what have you, but again, if you're a university in such close proximity to North Omaha and South Omaha, two areas with very low income tracts, you would think you'll maybe want to make it a little more affordable, or maybe have a little more incorporation. I will say shout out to Trio. I did get to experience Creighton through Upward Bound and some of the Trio programs, but even in that, it was almost like staying at your rich uncle's house for the weekend, knowing you got to go back to the projects. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Bel Air,
I would never. I'm not going to be able to afford to go to this school.
Come on, Uncle Phil, I can't stay here.
So
uh,
yes. To answer the question presented on Wednesday, as far as what is Creighton inching in? Yes,
yeah. Miss Erica Phelps said that in the chat too. She says, where was it at? She said, "This isn't surprising. We've been knowing that Creighton was inching in. Yeah, they absolutely have been. And as far as I'm concerned, it is the north side. They want to say that Cummings on the other side of Cummings is downtown. So,
hmm
but that's not necessarily. I mean, Cummings that's the north side too. That that's the proximity it means across the streets. Anything they're doing across the street, and some of their plans are across the street on
yeah,
this side of Cumming.
yeah,
So yeah, Brianna Fool says they're also one of the only law school programs in Omaha. They need to make that career field more accessible for North Omaha folks.
man,
Now I've heard about them doing some lowering some tuitions and doing some stuff. Can't say it's enough. Don't know if it was enough that they're. I mean, we can always probably do more for sure. But I did hear about them trying to do some of that kind of stuff. Um, so it would probably be a good idea to bring somebody on from Creighton that can tell us a few things. Tell us how they plan on incorporating the citizenry of the north side in whatever plans they have. Also, accessibility to the school as well. What kind of programs have they been putting together for that? What kind of scholarship programs do they have? Do they have what's the numbers? What's the numbers when it comes to people of color enrolled at Creighton, so on and so forth? Creighton is
mhm,
also a Christian school,
it is.
and there's a lot of people that don't necessarily want to go to a Christian school or feel like the Christian the Christian culture is creeping into the north side with the buildings. I mean, there's kind of a lot to it, and I've been here 11 years and haven't really ever been to any kind of like Creighton discussions or town halls or anything. They've just been creeping in, and we haven't really had
Yeah, yeah,
heard much. Haven't been talking to them, so I'm kind of leaning on that. Like, this is what we do. Let's have somebody from Creighton over to talk about what their approximation to the north side and what that actually means, what they think it means for them.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, that's a fair question. What does the university feel like is their obligation to the community, and kind of what Miss Wanda Lewis is saying in the chat, incentives for their surrounding community. Do they feel obligated to have those?
Sarah Fell says, didn't they cross Cummings already? I think they got something going on over something
I
happening
mean,
there.
would you consider the clinic? Would you consider the clinic as a part of it?
The clinic, what's the clinic? Where's the
The
clinic at?
the CHI clinic that's basically
Oh,
replaced the hospital.
CHI,
Yeah,
yeah.
they replaced the hospital.
The clinic across the street in the McDonald's parking lot
Yeah, yeah,
area.
yeah, yeah, right behind
Yeah,
McDonald's.
yeah, I didn't really think about that being Creighton, but I
Yeah,
guess it
yeah.
is. We just have seen when we were going through all that stuff when Chris Bowling from the Reader did the article about like the TIF funds. We
Mhm.
were looking at the TIF, they were applying for TIF funds for structures on the other side of Cummings, like big structures.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of more so a little further down from, so you think of the CHI area, come a
Yeah,
little further down Cumming Street and some of that area leading up to, maybe 13th. Yeah, that might be up for grabs from Creighton. I mean, they're already right there, on Cummings as far as the new I think that's at the healthcare, or it's like a health sciences building that they just developed over there, a couple
yeah.
of other buildings. And I feel like I've heard whispers of Kettle Knowles, if you're familiar with the apartment buildings right there
Mm,
behind that CHI Health clinic.
hmm.
I think that might become some Creighton housing as well
Oh,
eventually.
they're gonna change that up, really?
I've heard some whispers. So as far as the notion of Creighton creeping in on North Side, that it's a real notion. It's a real notion.
That's something else. There's also in the 75 North situation over there, the Highlander situation. There's a Creighton office up there too, and I remember most of the conversations I had with people, us in that office that's up there in the building, kind of in back of where Big Mama's and all that is
Mm-hmm.
down below. So
Mm-hmm.
So there's an office there, and it's funny. This one comedian, or I think it was a comedian, I can't remember who said it, but they were talking about gentrification happens, and one indication of gentrification is when you see a white girl jogging down the street, ponytail flopping, in an area that was considered dangerous just previously. And I remember thinking that doing some work over there. I remember thinking um, like I can't remember where I was at, but I just remember thinking there is a lot of white girls jogging down 24th Street and 30th Street right now. Like, what? Where are they? Where are they from? And it was obvious that they were Creighton students, and just kind of just have already kind of considered taking that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? When I heard that from that comedian that time, I just felt like, oh, this is interesting. This is okay. They jogging down like they like ain't scared and just coming on through. And it was because they were Creighton students, and the proximity, they're just close. They're just, everybody that goes to Creighton goes. There's a lot of people be sitting at timeout getting chicken for lunch. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so again, the proximity to the north side, proximity to the people of color that live on the north side. What is that? What is how do they stroke that?
Balance.
Yeah, exactly. Wanda Lewis says they have ambulances actually taking people there to the clinic. They have been included in the triage program. However, the clinic is limited. I seen the squad take people to that location only to have to take people somewhere else.
It's not a
Yeah,
hospital.
I did hear about that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some things you could do there, but it's not a hospital. Northside does not have a hospital. You have to go all the way out to 72nd. You have to go to 72nd.
Black Dynamite says Creighton is a lot like Nebraska Med in the way that they are always building and slowly eating things around them. Wow.
Yeah.
Von Chapman says the land and the businesses and people between Cummings and Ames, 16th and 30th Street, have been torn down and now being sold by the city to developers. Displacement of a whole community has gone unnoticed and unreported.
We trying to report it.
Brother Muhammad says Creighton culture. There it is.
I mean, talking about Jesuits.
The Jesuits, right. And also, like I said, Creighton. I mean, it's a deep culture that's been around for a long time. There's prep schools on the other side. Where's that prep school at? 72nd.
Creighton Prep is on 72nd. There's also a Jesuit school right on. It's right in the north side.
Yeah, like 20th Street or something.
Yeah.
So there's, I mean, it's spread out, man. It's from 20th to 72nd in the hood. Like, it's spread out. Let's move on. 8:07 right now. You're in the second hour of First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek. Rich, we got a special guest in the house.
Hey.
The impromptu guest, Brother Dave Pontos. How you doing?
Good morning. How y'all doing?
We're doing good. Good. Thought of you this morning because in the headlines we decided that we were going to put up. We're going to talk about this situation that Don Klein just put this post out, and people are really kind of talking about it. Before we get going, I just want to read off. Let's see, what was it, Brother Rome's reviews? Yeah, he's already calling for it too. He's part of this. He says boycott call. Picket the Pizza Ranch on 84th and Papillion. They're having a fundraiser for Klein. Call them and tell them we don't want them there. Then he says, in quotes, he says, since when did self-defense become a crime? So our chat chimers are already on it, are already thinking about this. This has been on Friends of First Sky Omaha, and that's the reason why we brought it up today. But first and foremost, please remind the people who you are and what you're running for, and why we think it would be a good idea for you to be on this subject.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Thank you again for having me on. I'm Dave Pantes. I am the Democratic nominee. So that's changed a little bit since I was last on. No one else jumped in. So I'm officially the Democratic nominee for Douglas County Attorney. And I will be your next county attorney come January 2023.
That's what
you heard it here first.
There you go. Speaking into existence, man, and definitely thank you for taking the time out of your campaign cycle and the schedule to speak with us, especially on such short notice. Again, Absolutely. This was just brought to our attention And for those of you who aren't aware, and big shout out to Brother Rome's review in the chat for kind of jumping on that early. But this is a message coming from Justice for James Skerlock Omaha, as an organization that has been advocating again for justice for James Skerlock and other things. And Paul, if you don't mind, I'll just read the post.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, I have it here. It says, you think that after all of this time, Don Klein would take this very public loss and move on with some kind of integrity or dignity. Unfortunately, that is not the case. As you can see, he plans to continue to defend his racist and white supremacist actions on April 4th at 11:30 at Pizza Ranch on 84th Street with an event titled, "How Did Self-Defense Become Manslaughter?" There is a graphic. I don't know, Paul, if we have that. This is the graphic that accompanies the event. Again, how does self-defense become manslaughter? And there's actually some calls to action from the Justice for James Skerlock organization that says call the Pizza Ranch. The number is 402-934-4888 to ask to speak to their management and demand they not host this racist event. Show up to Pizza Ranch on April 4th to protest the event. And it concludes, we won't allow Don Klein to continue to disparage James Skerlock's name. Let's ensure Don Klein knows his time is up. Just kind of curious about your thoughts on just this move. And you know, professionally, I'm kind of curious how frequent do you see, you know, these types of statements made about cases that have kind of ended already, you know, maybe a year or so ago.
Sure. Yeah. And, you know, what we do know is that in the fall of 2020, Don Klein had his press conference with Pete Ricketts and the right-wing elite in Nebraska, switched parties to the Republican Party, embraced Donald Trump, continues to do so despite the fact that everything is pointing towards Donald Trump being a felon for his actions in the insurrection of January 6, 2021, et cetera, still supports Trump, still is embraced by the right fringe of the Republican Party. And this is just more examples of him continuing to make the office of Douglas County Attorney a partisan, hyper-partisan office. You know, I think that I'm a Democrat for sure. But when I'm Douglas County Attorney, I'm going to run that office as a nonpartisan with fairness, integrity, transparency, with a focus on equity, equal justice, and certainly racial justice. So for him to, and I, a lot of folks agree with me on this. It's not just me saying this, but what happened in 2020 with the manslaughter or killing of James Skerlock, and how Don Klein acted, it's an open wound in our community for sure. It hasn't healed. I know in speaking with many members of the Skerlock family, they still feel betrayed by Don Klein's actions. And I know other folks involved, like Fred Franklin and others, feel betrayed. The fact that here we are, April, it's not an April Fool's joke. Here we are in April with this event. It's just, pouring more salt in that open wound. And I just, when I heard about this, I just was like, is this an April Fool's joke? Is this really happening? Because the graphic is so tacky. It looks like it was, I don't even know. I mean, you think this is the Republican Party? I mean, Pete Ricketts gave a $10,000 check to Don Klein last year. You think they could do a little bit better in terms of graphic design. So, I mean, what was that? Like MS Paint from 1997? What we got here? So, I mean, the fact that, in all seriousness, we need to bring this community together, heal the wounds of 2020, and move forward in a more fair, just, and transparent county attorney's office. And that's why I'm running.
Man,
yeah, dude.
As Precious says, very distasteful. I had to agree, man. And you said it, move forward. That's kind of my question. Like, move forward. We're quite some time removed from just, kind of the conclusion of that whole situation, as far as we would hope. As you acknowledge, and I appreciate that. Emotionally, those wounds are still open, but as far as court proceedings, that case is ended. So,
Yeah.
from your perspective, what's the point in all of this? What does he have to gain from even answering this question? Why?
I think this is, you can see this along the same lines as the hype and hysteria from the radical right wing fringe about CRT and pedophilia, all the QAnon stuff. They're just trying to rile up this fringe base so they come out and vote for an individual who's past his prime and needs to be retired. I just think that's what it is. It's the same kind of thing. Like, let's stoke those fears, and I'll just call it for what it is. These are race-based fears, just like CRT and all these other things. So I'm glad to see that grassroots activists and many others in the community are seeing this for what it is and standing up and protesting it, or calling to action to change this event or end this event.
Yeah, just jumping in the chat real quick. Christy Norris asking, didn't the Pizza Ranch on 84th close? Apparently not, and they're the ones holding this event. So they're holding this event on. I didn't. What was the date on that? I didn't see the date. It was looks
April
like
4th.
April 4th,
April
right?
4th. Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming up. So that's why
Monday.
the actions you can take is call Pizza Ranch, ask to speak to their management, demand they don't host this racist event. Show up to the Pizza Ranch, 3010 North South 84th, and on April 4th, and protest the event. Some things you can do there. Still open, still going, and still hosting events. It feels like we talked about the Pizza Ranch before on some other kind of racist feeling events. I'm not sure if that was the place that we were talking about before, but it feels like this is not the first time we've talked about this area. Josh Take has a question in the chat. Says, do we know if the status of the investigation that was initiated by the Skurlock family? I know Senator Justin Wayne took on that case, but haven't heard any updates in a long time. You know anything about the case?
I don't know any updates. I mean, I know there was definitely a lawsuit by the Gardner family against the special prosecutor and the grand jury, and I'm not sure what the status is. Justin Wayne is very busy right now fighting the good fight in Lincoln on behalf of that funding. I think they're saying $310 million going to underserved communities. So shout out to him for that. And I appreciate a lot of all the supportive comments from your folks who are watching. So thank you so much. But I think the most important thing here is this: we can't back down in the face of this right-wing fringe QAnon scare tactics from whatever the River City Republicans is. But that's, it's unfortunate. I still think there are good Republicans out there like Senator John McCollister, but unfortunately most of these officials are kind of, again, going with this super fringe right-wing wave and using race-based tactics to scare up voters to support them. And we just need to stand up and stare them down and win this thing.
And that's what this is all about. This is a race coming up. We're in election season, and Brother Pontos is running for that seat. It sounds like Don Klein decided he's going to keep on running, and this is his campaign tactic to bring up a case he lost.
Yeah. No, it's unfortunate because there's so much going on, and it's a distraction from the real conversation going on right now, which is about criminal justice reform and prison reform. And everything I've heard is that the number one gatekeeper and barrier to criminal justice reform is the partnership between Pete Ricketts and Don Klein. And so if anyone's frustrated by the fact that has not gone forward in the legislature yet, if you trace it all back, it's Don Klein testifying repeatedly against even modest criminal justice reform measures. And so if you care about prison overcrowding, if you care about the racial inequities in sentencing and incarceration, I hope you support my campaign, because all of that pushback and advocacy against criminal justice reform ends in January of 2023.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. One last look of what Black Dynamite calls something that looks like an old club flyer.
Bring your tall tees.
The example here, the idea behind this, the case is lost. How he tried to act like Gardner was acted in self-defense. Grand jury came back and said, nah, manslaughter. And he's really bringing this back up. Like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
And it happened because of race. Is that me?
Not me. I don't have one of those, whatever that is.
Sounds like a fire alarm.
Got a little fire alarm going on. I'm gonna mute that and let you finish up over here.
Well, you know, don't just ignore it, Paul.
I want to say thank you to Wanda for reminding me. April 5th, so the day after April 4th, April 5th, 5 p.m. at the Blue Line in Dundee. I'll be having an event, 5 p.m. We'll be handing out yard signs. Got some beers donated by Brickway Brewery. Also, if you're not ready to drink at 5 p.m., we'll also have coffee on us. So come by and grab a yard sign. I'll be talking a little bit about, April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and we still have around 1,000 rape kits in Omaha that have not been investigated, which is a real travesty. We are gonna, so please come by April 5th, 5 p.m. And if you're flush for whatever reason, feel free to give a donation to the campaign. Greatly appreciate it. All gets spent locally on my canvassers and yard signs and flyers and those kinds of things, so we can get the word out.
Man, that's nice. That's nice. Man, you've been putting in the work though. We just saw that you were busy over this past weekend. On Saturday, had a few events. You were out there, I believe, in support of Ernest Jackson.
Yes, I was so honored to be able to, there's so much going on in this campaign. I'm like, oh yeah, that was just Saturday.
Putting in the work, man. That's good. It's a good problem.
Yeah, I was proud to speak at the fundraiser for Ernest Jackson, who we need to send home. And that is such a huge cause that I really motivated. This is a guy who literally committed no crime, and he's been serving hard time since 1999. And I'm proud of that, all rhyming. So thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm glad you noticed that. I'm glad you noticed that. Yeah.
I've got game in all sorts of areas, man. So you know that. What? So I got my kids aren't here. They'd be like shutting this down.
Hey, no. His bars are so fire. My fire alarm's going off right now.
Ooh, fire! Those bars are fire.
Yeah, I figured that was your sound effect for how awesome I am. No, Ernest Jackson, really important cause. We were doing all sorts of stuff this week. We're busy every day, making phone calls. We're knocking doors. We're putting out yard signs. We're, talking to voters, and just, we're not backing down. I mean, again, Pete Ricketts, 5-figure contributions to Don Klein. We got to fight back. We can't let King Ricketts dictate what's happening in Douglas County. We need to fight back on behalf of all the people in this community, not just the wealthy and well-connected.
There you go.
Bro, last time I saw you live, you was over at Brother Muhammad's situation, supporting his run for school board. So, Brother Pontos is in the community, man, making it happen. We appreciate you jumping on impromptu this way. And also got to shout you out for all the work that you do too, the pro bono work you're doing to help people with their rents and with their the housing situation. So you stay busy in the streets, man. That's what's up.
There will never be an end to that. I mean, evictions are up, and we need to, because there are, and tying this to criminal justice, there are lots of studies that show that if you prevent homelessness, you prevent crime. So there's a direct connection between housing security and reduced crime in our communities. So that's a big reason why I'm out there. Thanks, Paul, and thanks, Melvin, and Ms. Erica, and everyone else who's commenting. So nice of you all. So such a great way to start Friday.
Yeah,
Thank
man. No,
you.
you're definitely getting a lot of love in the chat, and you know, fair enough, man. And you deserve it. So I actually have a
Right
whole
on.
bunch of other questions. We can actually continue to talk about this. There's some things about parole. There's that you mentioned with the eviction notices and what Ricketts is
Yeah,
doing. There's a whole bunch of other conversations, but we don't want to hold on to you for too much longer.
I will
So
come back on. Yeah,
Yeah.
just
please
yeah,
do, please do.
yeah. Just send me whatever shout out. I'll jump on. This is fun. I mean, you
Yeah.
guys are awesome. Mad respect for the fact that you're doing the work, the fact that people are jumping on and saying what needs to be said, because we need to do that, because there's plenty of people trying to keep us down. So let's fight back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, like Josh Tate says, get this man back on the show. The people have spoken. We're gonna do
All
it. So
right.
we'll be in touch soon, man. Thanks a lot for jumping on with us.
All right. Have a great weekend, guys.
You
as
too.
well.
Have a good one. Peace.
Peace.
Hey, that's
Hey,
what's
man.
up.
That was fun.
I like
That was
it. I
fun.
like it. Very fun. Very good. Good of him to come on like that. Let's take a quick break. 8:25 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich, all of you. Shout out to Dave Pontos for coming on last minute.
Man.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all. Yo. Welcome back. Once again, First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich, and of course, all of you, the chat chimers, could not do this without you. Very much appreciate that. And the nice support for Dave Pontos, man. I'm like, wow, that's what's up. Wanda Lewis says, that's my tune. Appreciate that, man. We're still waiting on Buddy to put that hot 16 on it. It's all good. Von Chapman says, Dave Pontos, great interview. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. That's what's up. Most def. Paul Philman has been hitting us up during the show too as well. He's put I see you, brother, put a link in. Give us a little synopsis. What's going on here? I couldn't really read it off of my phone as we were going. So throw it in the chat. Let me know what's happening. Brother Muhammad is over there. Go ahead.
The article that Paul Philman just sent is discussing who will benefit from Ricketts rickettiness. Again, what cities, what states will get the 120 million?
Ricketts.
Yeah, Ricketts, man. Again, this fool thinks that just letting this 120 million fall by the wayside, you know, like it's a saving taxpayer dollars somehow, and it's not. The money will be spent. So this article that Paul Philman just released or just shared kind of examines who's going to benefit, who's going to get the money if you know Nebraska doesn't.
I heard the governor of Iowa say that they were cutting off funds that went to they were trying to cut off funds that had to do with employment, people that lost their job and was trying to get, what is this called? Why am I having a blank right now? What is this called? Unemployment, right. And she was like, because basically we went from being a safety net to a hammock. And I thought, okay, that's an interesting vision that you just gave us, and I feel like that's how Ricketts, that's how these Republican governors feel out here.
Yeah,
like this, if you help them too much though, then they're just gonna be kicking back.
But it's like, what's the point of government? Like, what is the point of government? What is government's job?
Ridiculous.
Yeah. And again,
Yeah.
how can you reconcile, saying people won't work, but not investing in jobs coming to the community so they
mean,
can work? It just makes no sense. It just again makes no sense.
yeah.
But anyway, rickets will ricket, and we got about a year or so left to deal with that. So let's just make sure whatever we have afterwards, is
It's not a clone.
is new blood. Not just
So
not a
we
clone. We need new blood.
need new blood in the seat. That's really
Yeah, man.
real.
There you go.
Yep,
There
yep.
you go. But let's speak of new blood. Let's keep it moving, man. Just about 30 minutes left in the show. Still tuned in for Sky Omaha in the morning. Big shout out to all the first time and last time listeners. Thank you. And and all the ghost listeners not chiming into the chat. We still love you. We still appreciate you. But especially those of you chiming into the chat, thank you for joining and adding to the show. Definitely would love to hear what you have to say. And I know you got something to say about this next article talking about the Omaha Land Bank, who may be getting new blood. There is being reports of new leadership coming to Omaha Municipal Land Bank and some of their plans moving forward. And again, there's a lot of talk in the chat about the land bank. But the executive director of the Omaha Land Bank, Shannon Snow, is quoted saying, "We're able to extinguish back taxes and many of the special assessments such as demo liens, weeds, and litter, so that can be purchased by a community member at rates that are affordable." Again, the director talking about the function of the land bank, which again is a governmental nonprofit that acquires vacant and abandoned properties primarily through foreclosure. Again, that is what the land bank is. And someone in the chat sort of alluded to its formation a little bit ago in regards to Ben Gray's involvement in the creation from the governor, or not the mayor and city council.
Yeah, that was Stephen Abraham back at about 25 minutes after 7 this morning. He said the land bank was created by Ben Gray and was took out of the Omaha Housing Authority entity housing in Omaha. The original goal was to put land back in the hands of the people in North and South Omaha. It was later used as opportunities for minorities to gain properties. The Municipal Land Bank of Omaha now has become a dump for nonprofits to deposit properties in a like holding to avoid paying taxes until properties deemed ready for development or renovation.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep, that's exactly what I gathered from how the land bank is being used, and that's after looking into their financial records. That's after big shout out to Matt Wynn and our partners over the Flatwater Free Press for helping us get some of the data and some of the information that's not available on the website. Some of the information that they're not really so readily willing to release. And through that information, Holy Name Housing Corporation and Habitat for Humanity were the two nonprofits that are getting a lot of the land that, as Brother Stephen Abraham mentioned, is supposed to go to the people, even as their own executive director, Shannon Snow, just mentioned. Again, that's supposed to make this property more affordable for community members, and that's not the case. That's not the case. It's basically a shell corporation for these nonprofits to pass land back and forth. And as it stands right now, the land bank has 300 lots for sale, and that's just what's shown on their website.
That's what I was going to say.
300 lots.
We got inside information on. There's a couple of different sites you can go to find out who owns what, and the land bank has many more lots that they have not put on their own maps
for sale.
And a lot of this stuff is going to developers instead of individuals that can do something with it. I would love to have Dwan Hayes on, who is in the process of trying to buy a piece of land from the land bank and figure out what kind of structure can be built on it. I'd love to talk to anybody in the chat that is associated with anybody who bought land bank land or dealt with the land bank. It's kind of time. It's really interesting. Like our partnership really with the Flatwater Free Press grew out of this story. That was the first story that we worked on together, and Matt Wynn did this deep dive into the data and came out with some names and some questions and some things that made us get pretty skeptical. And then we went and talked to them. We talked to some people associated with them, some people that were on the board, so on and so forth. that was a time that we really kind of learned a lot about what was happening, and so us keeping our eye on stories like this, and when they come back in the news, we're able to provide a little context because of that, because of what's been going on there.
Yep,
Precious,
Precious.
that's just what I was
Yep,
thinking
yep.
of. She said,
Yep.
she said, interesting, buddy. Remember when you interviewed me about the land bank? I was just looking at that footage. We're gonna,
So that
yeah.
that Precious, that lets you know how long we've been in the trenches about this, man, and really trying to get to the bottom of this situation. And interesting enough, you see the same questions we were asking back then still remain unanswered. And to give a little context, at that time we were interviewing Precious about the lack of North Omaha. Again, she was with Nona, the lack of North Omaha investment, and again, she was on the board with Nona and still didn't have a vote, still didn't really have any teeth in that. As she said, she was a board member then, and even as a board member, she was a non-voting board member. So and we still don't know if there's any North. Do you know, Precious, if there's anyone from North Omaha that ever filled that seat, or is that seat still vacant? Because the board seats for North and South Omaha were left vacant for a long time, and it did not look like they were trying to fill those seats. And again, that's where most of the property is, in North and South Omaha.
I thought that we reported that they did fill that seat, but with another non-voting person that wasn't able to vote.
I do think that was about a year or so ago. It was reported.
Seemed like that, yeah. What to find out. Wanda Lewis says they said last night on TV that they want people who live within the community to develop the land bank properties. Yeah. We as a matter of fact, shout out to Wanda Lewis for putting that in the Friends for Sky Omaha. I definitely checked it out, and she sent me a message too that said check out that Channel 7 video, and I did. And yeah, they were saying what they were saying. Precious says, I don't know about a voting member, but there is a non-voting member. Right.
There you go.
Sharon Gray filled the seat, Wanda Lewis said.
There you go.
Charlon Gray, excuse me.
Charlene Gray
filled the seat, right. So yeah, I do remember us talking about that, and that the fact that it was still not a vote. There were still five white men voting on all the land on North Omaha and South Omaha. So
not just white men, but corporate developers.
Right.
All the major developers. They have employees on the Omaha Land Bank board.
So what was the Holy Name? Was that the
Holy Name Housing Corporation and Holy Name Housing Corporation and Habitat for Humanity.
Okay, right. So Holy Name came up a lot, and it's interesting. Michelle Troskler will ask her about it when she comes on Wednesday, but she just told me a story that had to do with some land that her father owns that Holy Name was trying to get. Holy Name has been buying up a whole lot of stuff, so we need to have somebody on this talking about what their plan is because of that. So we'd like to know. Charlon Rogers is Wanda Lewis. Okay, cool. So did fill the seat. Yep. So anyway, this is something we still would like to talk to people from the land bank and ask some hard questions, and also some of the names we uncovered, like maybe a representative from Holy Name would be a good person to talk to too, to see like what's your plan here. You seem to be buying up a lot of stuff for the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years. What's going on? So we definitely, this is definitely something that we need to look at. Brianna Full earlier in the chat says, she said my campaign manager bought a small piece of land in North O to build a community garden. So there's somebody who knows somebody that actually purchased some land. Like to hear from your campaign manager what they went through on that. What was the process? What was the plan? They put a plan to do a garden, and that was the plan, because there's some restrictions on that land. You have you have to build something on it in 2 years. You have to have a plan, and it's interesting to me. You got to remember this: the land bank are people that are that Gene Stothard is that the mayor has appointed on this board, on this land bank board. So again, it makes you wonder. Okay, so what was the plan here? What's the plan?
Mm-hmm.
Like what? Like there's they obviously. So and when you have all these hoops you got to jump through and stipulations you got to jump through on stuff. Why? Who are they trying to attract? What are they trying to attract in those spaces? And then there's this whole new issue that I'm just getting hip to today about people who are dodging property taxes by dumping them over to the land bank that way.
There you go.
Like that's a brand new thing too.
I mean, that's something I did gather from back then. It's almost acting like a pseudo TIF type situation. It's not necessarily the 25 years that you would get with TIF, but they still get to kick some taxes down the road.
Precious in the chat says that now don't shoot the messenger, but we have someone who is a really good person running Holy Name, and his wife is fighting the good fight every day to prevent homelessness and spend countless hours at City Hall fighting to prevent evictions and pushing back on the city council. That's what I'm trying to find out, though. That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. Before we see the name Holy Name everywhere all the time when we're talking about land. What's the plan? Maybe the plan is a good plan. Maybe the plan is to cure some homelessness and stuff like that. I like to have them on and find out because every time we look at any data that has to do with land, that name comes up a lot. Habitat just got a whole huge chunk of money too.
Yep.
From Jeff Bezos. Was it Bezos X?
Yeah, you saying his ex-wife?
Yeah,
I think so, actually.
Yeah. So there was a big chunk of money that just went there. So what's going to happen there? Habitat is also on that list. They're going to be buying up a bunch more land bank land and building stuff.
And Precious says, I'm in support of nonprofits getting properties and building homes. I will send you contact information for Holy Name. And that's the important part in this that I don't want to leave out of this conversation as far as the building of the homes and the plan. What are you going to do with the property once you get it?
That's the question.
A lot of the properties, if you look at the land bank's website, a lot of those properties are just open lots. Which causes is another form of issue, like not just getting the money and going through the process and all the hoops and the plan to get the property, but can you afford to build whatever it is that you're trying to build on that property? Can you afford to build a house? And a lot of the older houses that did stay there or were once there are all being torn down, which Senator Justin Wayne, put some respect on his name, says is a huge problem. He says if you can keep the good bones of a house there, it significantly reduces the cost to getting that house back on the market. So yeah, it's a huge problem, especially with the increased cost of supplies. And again, Justin Wayne is a contractor. He does construction. He knows this. He knows about this. So I will say that this is something worth reporting because the land bank did say in this article that, excuse me, and that they are taking steps to help people build on the vacant lots that they do have. That includes connecting the community partners with funding, to adding an online questionnaire that would direct potential buyers to resources from financing to builders. And that's kind of the biggest thing is people being priced out of, being able to develop on these properties, which is why it ended up being, the Holy Names and the Holy Names and the Habitat for Humanities. Those are the corporations and the organizations that have the resources to actually build those houses, and then they get the people in the community into those houses. But
that's kind of the question. Like that, like what you just said, Precious said, not only building homes, but making sure people who live in communities of South and North Omaha able to buy these homes and live in them, not rent these, rent.
And that's kind of the caveat for me. Like I see, based on what I just explained, I see why, maybe the land bank just had trouble getting the word out about the properties, attracting people to come and buy them. So they teamed up with the nonprofits to kind of do that work for them, as far as Holy Name and Habitat. But that is like, what's to be said for the prices that they're setting, because, does Holy Name and Habitat, can they set their own prices? Are they really affordable for the people? Are they able to rent? Are they able to own? What it kind of just puts it back in the hand of these organizations and these corporations and kind of circumvents the land bank.
Habitat does provide homes for people to own, right?
I think it's like a rent to own type situation. I'm not sure. I think it's a rent to own type situation.
So I'm a little bit more. I feel like I'm a little bit more familiar with what Habitat for Humanity has been doing more than I am Holy Name. So that is still like the question. But like I said, like Precious said, they could be fighting a good fight. They could be making it so that they're doing exactly what you just suggested. That they have those resources to be able to buy those homes. So they set it up to where they'll get the land, they'll build it, and then they can pass it on through maybe a rent to own situation to some owners that live. And then like Vaughn Chapman says, the building and sales of these homes should be affordable for the people
Right.
in and from the community as well. So she says, yes, these are homes to own. Okay, so that was the question. That was the question. And how affordable are these homes is the next question. So
Yeah.
you have the ability to own these homes, and maybe you go through them. Don't know. We'll see. We'll see when we start asking those questions. So that's what's up. Paul Philman puts a article in the chat. He says a World Herald article describes excellent efforts to build financial literacy to help get many people ownership. So some
There you go.
tactics there, some help there. That's what's up.
There you go.
Vaughn Chapman says define market rate and who establishes market rate in affordable housing. That's still the underlying question with us all the time.
Right.
What is affordable?
Define these buzzwords. Please define these buzzwords. But I will say, to kind of conclude, there are people in the land bank within the board that have some good ideas, not just the new executive director, but also board member Candace Price is holding them accountable. She says that property ownership, we know that has a lot to do with the wealth gap that has existed. And so the land bank can play a part in helping to close that wealth gap. She says, just to make it transparent and clear, that is our priority, and give us some teeth around the execution of that. Talking about, again, prioritizing sales to historically redlined communities and buyers from those communities, with, again, 90% of the properties owned by the land bank being located in District 2.
Wanda Lewis says they have investors who live in Elkhorn that's purchasing for rental profits only. Okay. Yeah. Are they using land bank land? Is that what we're talking about? Are they using the land bank land for that? So, still a lot of questions. I like that we keep on talking about this and getting some of these questions answered, and we kind of know where we need to go as far as who we need to bring on and talk to as well, and get even more clear what's going on here, and some movement. I know that the Black Agenda,
Black Agenda Alliance.
Black Agenda Alliance just bought several acres.
8. Yep.
8 acres. I forgot to ask them, did they go through the land bank for that? Is that what, did they get the land from the land bank from that or whatever? But they bought that right in North Omaha as well. And so, we didn't really ask them that we were so happy that it happened. I didn't really ask them what the process was. So it'd be interesting to find out as well. Precious says that was the turning point for me when an investor from Elkhorn wouldn't tell the board what nonprofit he was partnering with to build. So yeah, that has been going on for sure.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing. A lot of secrecy, a lot of veil. We got to lift that veil, and hopefully, as board member Candace Price said, hopefully more transparency. So
Candace Price is a name that's been floating around a lot over the years. So she's definitely been a part of a lot of things, and I'd love to have her on and talk a little bit more too, just about not just this, but a lot of the other stuff she's been associated with. So that'd be cool. Anybody knows her, let her know. Yeah.
But on that note, we got just about 13 minutes left in the show. It is Friday. Want to make some room for some extended haps.
Some what?
Extended haps.
What's the haps? What's happening?
Some shoulders moving.
What's going down?
Ladies and gentlemen, time for the haps. That's time for us to talk about some things that are going on in town that we need to be checking out, especially this weekend, and time for you to let us know about some things that's going down as well. So we'll go ahead and throw it to Buddy. Buddy, you got some haps for
man.
people?
What's happening around the world? Well, first let's kick off April 7th. A big shout out to Omaha North alum. Making some major moves. Talking about again the director Nick Whitcomb. Put some respect on his name.
Hey.
Yeah. Put some respect on his name. Again, Choir Boy. Play coming to Benson Theater April 7th through the 16th. So definitely check that out. I know Paul B, you've been kind of peeping in on those rehearsals. You anticipating a good show, huh?
Get your tickets now. Let us show up and show out for this. It's going down. These are some young bros from Omaha. This is a powerful play. It was written by Terrell Alvin McCraney.
Yep.
And this is the cat that wrote the Moonlight. Remember that movie Moonlight that came
Really?
out a couple years
Okay.
ago?
I didn't know that. I didn't. Yeah, man. Moonlight killed. What was that? The Academy Awards
The
that
Oscars
year.
got an Oscar that
Yeah, the
year.
Oscars killed it. So yeah, for those who aren't familiar with the story, Choir Boy follows a group of young Black students at Charles R. Drew Prep School for boys as they struggle with issues of identity and sexuality. So a lot of topics that are relevant to today. If you got a young man at home, maybe you want to take them to this. This might be a good conversation piece for the dinner table. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep,
big
yep.
shout out.
And directed by the incomparable Nick Whitcomb, man. Come
Man,
on.
very talented. So yeah. Support. Also, speaking of support, let's go ahead and support Omaha South, man. If you want some enchiladas, April 3rd is coming up this weekend. Omaha South enchilada fundraiser for their South baseball team. So Black and brown pride, man, from the north to the south, man. We would definitely support the youth. So yeah, get out there, support.
And forget the youth. I need some enchiladas.
I already knew you were coming, Paul. I already knew, man. So yeah, go ahead and get your enchiladas too. Go ahead,
Yes, sir.
get your enchiladas. Also coming up, we have Omaha 360. They have an event on April 2nd. That's tomorrow, actually, at 10 a.m. This is a discussion on several topics plaguing the community, trends on current states of arrest, local and national trends of gun violence, also justice and prison reform, diversity and inclusion, neighborhood and community engagement, and just to name a few. This is going to be a very in-depth conversation. Again, this is hosted by Omaha 360 and several other organizations, Urban League, Boys and Girls Club, Charles Drew. They're all involved in this. The likes of Terrell McKinney, Justin Wayne, Todd Schmatter, A. Jamal Benden, Levon Stennis, Leo Lewis, Jasmine Harris, Wayne Hudson. I mean, this is going to be Ricky Smith. There's a lot of names. Yeah, this is a pretty deep panel.
There go Wayne Hudson right there. He on the
panel.
panel.
Yeah. He's gonna be on the panel. So again, if you would like to hear from Wayne Hudson, again, he's going to be on that panel sharing some of his thoughts. Also, additional panelists Sir Wayne Wardlow and others. I didn't even see the small text, man. It's gonna be a pretty deep panel. A lot of people. So again, if you would like to join this conversation, there's a registration link. Check out Omaha 360 for more information.
That's what's up.
Also, speaking of Wayne Hudson, if you'd like to join his campaign, he will be having a canvassing day coming up. That's on the 2nd tomorrow as well. So
okay.
Wayne Hudson for DC sheriff. If you want to get involved and trying to get a Black man as a sheriff in Douglas County.
Well, we got to vet the Black man first.
Yeah.
Just because he's Black,
No, not all skin folk or kin folk. That's for sure.
That's for sure. He sound like a cool dude, though. I got people like Vicky Young that's speaking up for him. So yeah, let's just get to know him. That's all. So that's what it is around here.
There you go. You got anything going on over there, man?
Yeah. Well, the most important thing going on today, bro, is
can't forget
Big Elk Native Soul Indian Taco fundraiser that's happening today. And I do suggest you get there at 11 o'clock because they're gonna keep going till they sell out. So yeah, it's at Center Mall. That's 1941 South 42nd in that old Center building. 402 on the 4th floor. Definitely go check him out. And this is a fundraiser for his office. So Brother Lavelle Wells is trying to do the good work, man. Bringing together Native Black folks and really kind of there for the people, raising money for the people, trying to help out the people. He's definitely a person for the people, by the people. He's the people. And we the people. So let's go check it out. He says, I will not remain silent for the sake of my people. That's right. He speaks out. And this is his office that he's using there to try to bridge those connections. And so let's go ahead and help him out and raise some funds there for Brother Lavelle Wells. We had him on earlier this year, and I'd love to have him on again to find out what's going on. But first and foremost, Indian tacos.
Man.
So 11 o'clock today. It's going down today. So if you can break out early for lunch, I would definitely say go check it out and do that and support. That's what it is.
Get you some fry bread.
Yeah, man, come on, man. Fried bread tacos. No, come on. Let's go down.
There you go.
Did see something else that I thought I saw interesting. Centering voices of formerly and currently incarcerated leaders in the movement from prison cells to PhD education over incarceration. So there's a panel that's happening there. This is Tuesday the 5th at noon. And it's going to be an online thing as well. So I'm trying to see the names here. I don't see any names I recognize, but The panelists are Daniel Bullman, Tommy Moore, Ali Abraham, and William Freeman. So should be a good conversation. Anybody who's talking about formerly incarcerated, currently incarcerated leaders, and what we can do, hearing from them, hearing about what we can do there, from prison cells to PhD, pushing education over incarceration. Sounds like a pretty interesting thing to check out. I might want to zoom on in and check that out. So definitely check that out as well. And last but not least, we've been talking about it. Let's remember that the Land Bank is every second Wednesday of every month. You can hit them up and say you want to come. They'll get you an invitation. You can come check it out and hear this stuff for yourself at the board meeting every second Wednesday of the month. So definitely want to keep that in mind. Definitely want to represent. If you can go, definitely go check it out. And yeah, man, just remember that that's always happening. We can always know what's up on that. Christy Nora is asking who's showing up at Pizza Ranch.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, so I'll bring that back up real quick. Again, Pizza Ranch is hosting this Don Klein event, and so Justice for James Scurlock, Omaha, the organization there, say here's some actions you can take for that ridiculousness. Call Pizza Ranch. Here's the number 402-934-4888. Ask to speak to their management and demand they not host this racist event. Also show up at the Pizza Ranch, 3010 South 84th Street in Omaha on April 4th to protest the event. Yep. We won't allow Don Klein to continue to disparage James Scurlock's name. Let's ensure Don Klein knows his time is up.
There you go. That's next upcoming Monday. Also, Josh Tegg dropped a haps in the chat. He says Renee Elise Goldsberry from Hamilton on Broadway singing with the Omaha Symphony on Saturday and Sunday. He has some comp tickets for the First Guy fam. Man, okay, Josh. Thank you.
I'm gonna hit you up. I might try to get down Sunday, bro. I'm gonna hit you up. Yeah, man. Appreciate that. I'd love to see that.
Also, Paul, before we get out of here, man, speaking of the haps, what happened to the tricky words of wisdom, man?
Oh man, we almost got out of here without the tricky, and it was a good one today too, because it's from a character that we don't usually get tricky words of wisdom from, the Borg Queen.
One of your favorites? Let me guess.
Go ahead, Star Trek Rich. Now she ain't one of my favorites. She's an interesting character, but not one of my favorites. But Starfleet Daily Meditation today, Buddy likes to call tricky words of wisdom. Betrayal is just an anagram for believe me. Okay, is closely related to. I can see that logic. A lot of people say believe me so that they can betray you. There's haters all around. I wouldn't have said it before, but there are haters all around that have nothing better to do but get in your business, hate on you, hate on what you're doing, and then try to call themselves your friend on top of that. So they believe me, we're friends. Nah, they're ready to betray. So sometimes you got to get that hard knowledge from somebody as hard as the Borg Queen, and that's what it is today. So betrayal is just an anagram for believe me. Don't be fooled. Don't believe the hype. Don't fall for the okie doke. That's what I get from it.
Don't believe the hype.
There you go, man. Tricky words of wisdom. Thank you for reminding me of that. Wanda Lewis says, trust none. Heard that.
There you go.
Yeah, man, really appreciate it. Everybody who has joined in. Wanda Lewis says with picket signs at the Pizza Ranch. It's going down. It's going down to the Pizza Ranch. Be careful out there, y'all. And Richard Lou said, and don't believe that sentence. And don't believe that sentence. I like that.
There you go. Yeah, it kind of threw me off. Ain't an anagram a word that's the same forward and backwards?
Yeah, that's and it doesn't. I'm sitting there looking at it.
Looking at the words like lay arteb.
I see a B and an E. I don't see.
I see no I.
Yeah, but you gotta take what you're gonna take from it. So that's what I think.
Yeah, pull what you can from it, y'all. Make sense of it.
Don't believe the hype. The Borg Queen is smart. The Borg Queen is smarter than us. She got the whole collective behind her.
Okay. Ideas that we can't circumscribe with the human mind. Arms ain't long enough to box with God.
Not the singular human mind. You need a collective to understand this.
That hive mind. Okay.
Once again, I got to say it one more last time, though, y'all. Get your tickets for Choir Boy.
Man.
We're going to have a party in this month. It's going down. You understand? It's going down. Terrell Alvin McCraney, writer and creator of the film Moonlight, has written a play called Choir Boy, and our own Nick Wickham is directing it, and it's going to be powerful. It's going to be powerful.
Star Trek Rich gave us the kudos also, or gave Nick the kudos also in the chat, saying that he was his nephew's roommate. So talented. Yeah, man.
Nice. That's what's up, man. Hey, thank you guys for joining us. Stephen Abraham says, good show, y'all. Appreciate that very much. Yep.
Thank you.
Wanda Lewis says, do your homework.
Yes, please do your homework, and big shout out to Dave Pontos for joining us this morning, especially on late notice, man. We hit that man up this morning, and he hopped on with us and delivered, man. So big shout out to him. Go vote, y'all. Definitely go vote.
Also, Christy Ignore earlier says, Alicia Shelton for Congress. Let me know if you need a yard sign. So remember our sister's running. And, this is vote time, so get ready. And I'll see you guys there for fried bread tacos at 11 o'clock. Indian tacos going down 11 o'clock. So definitely check that out. Miss Erica Fell says, great show. Check out Josh Tay's comment with the free happenings. Appreciate that, Brother Tag. Definitely gonna hit you up maybe on the Sunday. She says, drink water and keep your space. Brooke says, good show. Appreciate it. Pop says, wow, another exceptional show. We love that you guys make it do what it do. I appreciate it, Pops. He says, have a great weekend and see y'all Monday. Yeah, man. It's 9 o'clock. What you got to say for the peoples?
Man, as always, we love you. We appreciate you. We thank you. For making the show what it is, man. All the last time listeners, all the first time listeners, all the ghost listeners, all of you that's chiming in the chat real chimey this morning. Yeah, man, we appreciate all of y'all, man, that make the show what it is. So take care of yourselves this weekend. Have a safe and good time, whatever you do. Make sure you do it with love and good intentions, man. So with that, let's keep it moving. Catch the same time, same place, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Paul B. I know you got some words for the folks.
Take man. I do. Just setting up for next week. Get ready. We got members of the Flatwater Free Press is going to join us on Monday. Also, the Reader is going to join us on Monday. We'll be politicking with P on Wednesday. Ooh. And we'll be Michelle Trosclair's soapbox moment on Wednesday, on Women Wednesday for Sky Omaha. Women. Yes, it's going down. And then Friday, we got my man Abelardo's is going to come on and talk to us about his franchise techniques. So full week ahead. Don't tell a friend, spread the word, and we'll have some good discussions next week. Thanks for joining us and have a great weekend. Want to give thanks. Go ahead.
Real quick, wanted to acknowledge a first-time listener in the chat, Brian Page, first-time listener. Great info, man. Thanks for tuning in. Tell a friend and tell a friend. We here, man.
I appreciate that very much. So Brianna Fool says, have a good weekend. Precious says, have a good weekend for Sky Fam. Appreciate that. Right on. She says, oh yeah, I got some tea. We can't wait. Be politicking with P on Wednesday, y'all. It's going down.
Man.
Thanks to the Omaha tribe elders, who I hope will be having some Indian tacos with us this afternoon. But shout out to them for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before them, and shout out to you, all the chat chimers. You are the chat chimers, and I got to tell you, the show cannot happen without y'all. So thank you so much. Thank you for everybody that's a reoccurring member of the station as well. If you have not become a reoccurring member of the project and consider doing so, please go to firstskyOmaha.com, hit the donate button, become a reoccurring sponsor of the channel so that we can keep this going. And also like and subscribe over on YouTube so we can build that up as well. And if you are enjoying this on Facebook, please share this on your page so we can get as many people talking about this, about all these subjects as we can. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Katie L gives us have a fantastic weekend. Appreciate that from you as well. Thanks for listening. And thank you, all of you, once again, for another beautiful, beautiful Friday. You guys have a good one. Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the red